off the rain. Again, so much for free will. Okay? God dictated in love, so much for being patient with us all and being a gentleman. Because in Noah's day, he didn't consult anybody else and say, anybody else want to come on board? Anybody? Anybody? Do you feel good about it today? How about you? No. Nobody was asked the question. And by the way, it was 120 years, you know, or 100 years, excuse me, 100 years between Noah being told to build the ark and the flood coming. A lot of years in there, God could have had somebody else say, you know what, today, I want to go on a boat. You know, my free will says, I want to go with. Poof, get off. You can't go. What you mean? There's no choice. Did God tell you to come? Well, then you can't go. What you mean? Because God told me and my wife and my 3 sons and their wives, and that's only humans I was told that go on this boat. Okay? So you have a nice day. God's a gentleman. Well, how's that a gentleman? I'm just saying. I didn't write the book. I'm just saying. So the reality is that I believe that that is the first sanctification because of what's being done there. How God, again, chose out Noah. But yet Noah then also, as we see, after he was righteous, God says, because if he was seen righteous, he put him on the boat. So you see that God selected him out. God puts him on the boat. Afterwards, we see Noah then shed blood on his own, give sacrifice of thanksgiving to God when he gets off the boat. That's his action of going ongoingly sanctified without being asked to. He's building upon what God already did and sanctifying him originally by calling him out to begin with. So I hope that answers your question. So I'm going to go down to this other passage in Joel. My Bible's just falling apart here.
You said yes.
Yeah. All these pages. Okay, hold on just a minute. Okay, I'm having a hard time. Okay, where are you? Come on, Joel's right before Amos, right? There we go. Okay, thank you. All right, so Joel chapter 3, verse 12 and 14. Let all the nations be aroused and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat, for thou wilt sit to judge all the nations around, which is all the different ethnos. Put to sickles, for the harvest is come. Go and tread, for the winepress is full. Cause the wine vats to overflow, for their wicked deeds have been multiplied. Screams resound in the valley of judgment, because the day of the Lord is the valley of judgment is at hand. The sun and the moon shall be obscured in darkness, and the stars shall withdraw their light. And the Lord will utter a shout from Zion, and from Jerusalem he will send forth his voice. Heaven and earth will be shaken. The Lord will prosper his people and strengthen the sons of Israel. And you shall know that I am the Lord your God, who dwell in Zion, the holy mountain. And Jerusalem shall be holy, and strangers should no more pass through it. And verse 18, and it shall come to pass in that day, the mountains shall distill new wine, the hills shall send forth streams of milk, and all the fountains of Judah shall pour out water, and the fountain shall issue from the house of the Lord, and which water to the valley of the bulrushes. But you're saying it's the valley of the decision. Let me see. I'm reading from the Septuagint. I should have read from the exegesis. Oh, hello.
Vicky said 2 different names for the valley.
Yep, valley of decision versus valley of judgment that's in verse 14. This is the same. Same. Which speaks to, by the way, Armageddon, which is Jehoshaphat. And Gog and Magog. It's funny how they think Armageddon's about a space shuttle and Bruce Willis going to an asteroid in space. It's actually about, a mighty war of God squashing one like that, and the other one he does 75 days of pummeling people in this valley that forms. That's Armageddon that there's no escape from. No man, no movie can get around that one. And then you said, verse 18, The valley. Oh, the valley of Shittim. Yeah, let's see what. That's a different valley. That's not the same thing. That's a different. That's different. This one's different. That's different. That's different. You said Ezekiel 47:1.
He said your mic.
Oh, it's out?
No, she said it's okay.
Oh, sorry. I'm trying to look at a map, by the way, to find. Here. Right here's the map. You can forward on this, can't you, babe?
I'm sorry?
You can zoom in on this, right?
Just a minute.
And I'm going to hopefully see in here. I'm going to try to find for you the Valley of Shittim in here. That's because it's in blown up in here somewhere. Goes down. You know what? I don't. Nope. It's gonna be down. Nope. I do not see it. Okay. All right. So much for that. Hold on a second here. I got to find, if you put in the Valley of Shittim here. Valley of Shittim. Map. Here we go. Okay. So they're not, whoops. So I'm trying to figure out, looking at the map on. So they got it right here. Go back to this map here. They got it right. I'll show you where it's. They got it right over here. There it is. See, I knew I missed it right in my face. There's Shittim right there. So you can see on the, if you see from your camera, Shittim is here. The valley is over there. But here's, I want you to see where the Mount of Olives is, so you can see also, to remind you. I just saw that earlier, the Mount of Olives somewhere. I saw that noted. Here's okay. So here you have the Mount of Olives. Here, the Mount of Olives is noted right here. You can see where it's at, Jerusalem. That's where the Valley of Jehoshaphat is, forms here. The Valley of Shittim's over here, because here's Shittim right there. Okay? So two different places. I want you to remember that. So then you have your question of Ezekiel 47:1. Ezekiel 47:1. Oh, gotta read from the exegesis because the wording is all different. You're talking about the words. You said 47:1. Let's see what that says. And it says, and after he brought me again into the door of the house, and behold, waters issued out from under the threshold of the house eastward, from the forefront of the house stood toward the east, and the waters came down from under the right side of the house. Okay, I don't really know what that's relevance to anything about what you're mentioning. Okay, I think that's just a reference of what they're talking about, how the waters flowed. That's probably what they had that on there. I don't see what the valley of, I don't see that on there. What verse was that in? The valley of Achaia. I don't see that. I must be missing something. I don't see that. I don't see this in the verse.
Joel 3:18.
Oh, it must be. Oh, sorry. It must be in the in Septuagint. I must have missed it. It must be in the King James. My apology. I didn't check that part of the. No, I didn't see that. I don't see Valley of Achaia. In Joel 3:18, mine doesn't say that. It says Valley of Shittim, but I don't see the other one. I'm lost as to where you're seeing that. So I don't know how to answer that question because I don't know where it's at. I don't know what verse. So, but for what I did know, I answered. What's that?
KS is the same as Shittim, I think.
Oh, I got you. You're saying, I got you. Okay, my apology. I don't know. I don't know about that. If that's the same thing, then okay. I have no answer for that. I don't know. You were saying if it's the same. I got you. My apology. So, in any event, so we answered Todd's 2 questions. We answered Pam's question. And we answered Tracy's questions. Vicky, I don't know. Did I answer your question or not? I don't know if I answered it or not. The second part I didn't answer. I don't know the answer to that part. Is the Valley of Shittim the same as the Valley of Achaeus? Or I can't even say the word right, but I don't know. But the other is true that yes, Jehoshaphat, Valley of Decision or Judgment is the same thing. Did I answer your question? Yeah?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Lainey just came back on.
Okay. Well, see, yeah?
She says, yes, I wanted to know if they were the same valleys. We just don't know what the Valley of Shittim is for.
No, the Valley of Shittim is over in the land of Ammon, as you can see there on the map behind me. It's in the land of Ammon over here. And remember, that's the Ammon, Moab, and Edom is the flight from which the Jews will take down to Petra. It's the land in which in Daniel is said to be off limits to the Antichrist when he's now the beast at that point. And so Ammon would be where the Shittim goes into, and so you would have an overflow of the Jordan River potentially that would be used, because we know that he takes the Dead Sea at that point and tries to use that to overflow the Arnon Valley, which is down further. See on the map, it's down here. The Arnon Valley, which is down here.
Does this have anything to do with latter rains?
Yeah, well, when it does rain and it's in the wintertime, it's going to be a lower. It's going to be high tide in the Jordan during the spring and summer, and low tide in the fall and winter. So, because that's when the cold, and so when the ice melts, it comes back down, and it just floods makes it a higher water level during the spring and summer. So people want to make fun and say the Jordan River was too low of a water level for Jesus to be baptized, fully immersion. Well, that's because in the fall and winter, sure it would have been, but in the spring and summer, it would have been just fine. And which that's where he was. He was doing that during the time in which you had a whole element of how he was coming out and wilderness journey and so forth. So in that particular time of situation of the Valley of Shittim, it could be a valley that, yes, it was used for extra waters to flow out of the Jordan on overflow. It was used, but people, if you're trying to say the Valley of Jehoshaphat was used for extra, blood, if you will, in that case, which is horrific to think about, would be flowing down that way. That's a whole different thing. I'm not sure if you're saying that, but I mean, I've never looked at it and studied it for what it's for and what references to it, so I really can't speak other than geographically. It is a practical overflow for the River Jordan, but prophetically or scripturally speaking on a spiritual plane, I have no comment I can make on the Valley of Shittim because I really don't know its relevance in the spiritual context. I have not seen it, if anything, good or bad.
She said, okay, thank you.
But sorry about that. But I will study that out and see what I can find out for you, and see if I can see anything that comes up from Valley of Shittim and Achaeus, if I say that word right. All right, so let's close in prayer tonight. That's all. That's 2 hours we did now on Q&A. These are going to be lengthy times together, even though there didn't seem to be lengthy questions. You get me on them, and and there you go. So, God forgive me for my theatrical, emotional expression at times. I don't know. It just gets over me. I apologize if that was too much over the top, but there are times that, I don't know, I don't know. I catch myself just thinking, after I say it, what am I saying? I don't know, I don't mean to be too over the top, but I hope that it's helpful. I don't know, Lord's will, He uses it, I don't know. All right, so let's close and pray, and then we'll end for our time tonight. So Father, we thank you for this time we've had, the study with you, and to continue to learn and grow and understand what you have said and who you are in your word. To teach us, grow us, and equip us, and love us, Father. In Jesus, Yeshua's name we pray, amen. Don't forget, Communion Sunday is this Sunday. And again, I'm sorry about my, what do you want to say? I'm going to call it.
Trying to get my little personal.
Over the, did you already stop this?